She may be best known as the ultra-organized Monica Geller from Friends, but Courteney Cox's real-life story is far messier, more emotional, and filled with surprising resilience. Behind the laughter track and sitcom glamour lies a tale of heartbreak, healing, Hollywood highs, and humbling lows. Let's take a deep dive into 10 pivotal moments from Courteney's life that shaped the woman behind the fame. There's everything from baby drama to bad Botox and even Disney awkwardness. When motherhood was anything but a sitcom plot, you'd think someone from a massive Southern family would pop out babies like popcorn. Not so for Courteney. Despite growing up surrounded by siblings, Cox faced a brutal journey to motherhood, marked by multiple miscarriages and a struggle with infertility. At one point, life played a cruel joke. She was filming a Friends episode where Jennifer Aniston's character was giving birth right after experiencing a miscarriage herself. Comedy, they say, is tragedy plus time, but maybe not that close in time. Eventually, 2 rounds of IVF brought her daughter Coco into the world in 2004. While becoming a mom was a victory, Cox continued advocating for women's reproductive struggles through her series 9 Months with Courteney Cox, encouraging open conversation about fertility issues. Cue slow clap. Her dad's death hit harder than a Scream plot twist. Courteney's relationship with her father Richard was a cornerstone of her early life. So when he passed away from Merkel cell carcinoma, a rare and aggressive skin cancer, it left a wound that time didn't easily heal. Determined to fight the odds, Cox even flew her dad to Switzerland for innovative radioactive treatment. Doctors had given him 6 months, but thanks to her persistence, he held on for 18. She later admitted that even years later, the pain of his passing lingered. And no, not even Bear Grylls could hike her out of that grief. From Cougar Town to career slump, you'd think starring in Friends, Scream, and Cougar Town would earn you a permanent seat at Hollywood's cool table. But when Cougar Town ended in 2015, Cox felt irrelevant. She admitted focusing more on her personal life and less on career moves. And in Tinseltown, that can mean disappearing faster than a Netflix cancellation. I didn't feel very relevant at the time, she confessed. That's got to sting when you've once been America's favorite clean freak. Still, fans didn't forget her. Someone even brought a Masters of the Universe photo to sign talk about a retro redemption arc. Loved, Disney, and too much PDA. Courteney and David Arquette were Hollywood's quirky it couple. Both starred in Scream. Both had a flair for the eccentric, and both knew how to overshare on Howard Stern. But there were bumps like Arquette getting too handsy at Disney World while their 6-year-old was around. Or the time Cox was mourning her dad and all she needed was a hug, but Arquette's comfort came with a side of romance she just was not in the mood for. Timing, David. Timing. Their 2011 divorce was a mutual decision, and to their credit, they remained unusually friendly. Cox even said, "He's my best friend." Talk about divorce goals. When fillers flopped, you know the Hollywood drill hit 40, fight wrinkles like you are prepping for battle. Cox joined the club with facial fillers she now openly regrets. Initially pleased with the results, she did not realize things were going sideways literally and figuratively until people started subtly recoiling instead of complimenting her. In her own words, "I think I messed up a lot." Thankfully, she had the fillers dissolved and now embraces aging with grace and humor. "I'm just older now," she says. Honestly, Monica would approve if the fillers were stored in clearly labeled Tupperware. That is, hair today, gone tomorrow. Just when you think things are settling, your thyroid throws a wrench into the mix. Cox was diagnosed with hypothyroidism and found herself battling unexpected hair loss on her head and her eyebrows. If there's one thing worse than losing hair, it's losing your brows, nature's way of expressing sarcasm. Thankfully, after some medication adjustments and a good endocrinologist, she's back to full follicle glory. Eyebrows have returned. Balance is restored. She even joked about the process in interviews, proving once again that humor might just be the best hormone replacement therapy. The worst couples therapy session ever. You walk into couples counseling hoping to fix a few communication issues. You don't expect your fiancé to break up with you 60 seconds into the session. But that's exactly what happened with Cox and Snow Patrol's Johnny McDade. We were just going to talk boundaries, she recalled. Apparently, his boundary was not being in the relationship anymore. Fortunately, it was a temporary breakup and the couple eventually rekindled. Still, that's one therapy session that likely ended in more tissues than resolutions. The curse of confidence, or lack thereof. For someone who played confident, take-charge characters like Monica Geller, Courteney Cox has revealed that real-life confidence was never her strong suit. Behind the scenes, she often let fear take the wheel, shying away from auditions, overthinking her choices, and talking herself out of career-changing opportunities. Her inner voice was not exactly a cheerleader, more like a nervous librarian whispering, "Shen, don't mess this up." She admitted she even tell herself to be more mysterious, less available, and occasionally, emotionally hide behind a decorative throw pillow. Luckily, years of therapy, self-reflection, and probably a lot of yoga helped her push through that mental fog. She now lives more in the present, wisely asking herself, why stay in the past or project into the future? Still, it's hard not to imagine what incredible roles she may have landed if she'd muted that anxiety playlist a little earlier. A superhero? A Bone villain? Maybe even a Marvel multiverse Monica? Either way, we are just glad she found her footing and now encourages others to believe in themselves, decorative pillows and all. Family ties and final goodbyes. In 2020, Courteney Cox said goodbye to her beloved mother, a woman she often described as sweet, supportive, and central to her life. She honored her a year later with a heartfelt Instagram post featuring 3 generations, her mom, daughter Coco, and herself, all wrapped in love. Losing a parent is hard enough, but during a global pandemic, that's grief with a plot twist. It felt like the world was already upside down, and this made it worse. Around the same time, Lisa Kudrow also lost her mom, and Courteney, along with Jennifer Aniston, showed up to support her without hesitation. No public fanfare, just real friendship. It was one of those moments where Hollywood took a backseat to humanity. Even now, Courteney regularly posts tributes to her mother, keeping her memory beautifully alive. The love she learned from her mom continues to shape the woman and mother she is today. The loss of Matthew Perry. In 2023, Courteney faced one of her deepest losses. Matthew Perry, her longtime friend and on-screen husband from Friends. Their characters were iconic together, but their real-life bond was just as powerful. In her tribute, she recalled a moment when Matthew whispered a joke to her right before filming, just to make her laugh. Classic Maddie. Her post read, "I miss you every day," and fans everywhere felt the heartbreak. For Courteney, this wasn't just a co-star gone, it was someone she'd shared years of laughter and growth with. Watching Friends now feels a little heavier, but also more special. Perry's humor and warmth still live on in every rerun and every memory. And for Courteney, he'll always be more than Chandler, he'll always be family. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Courteney Cox's incredible journey, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps the channel. Got thoughts, memories, or favorite Friends moments? Drop them in the comments below. We love hearing from you. And if you want more inspiring, emotional, and sometimes hilarious celebrity stories, make sure to subscribe and ring that bell.